Good morning, everyone. It's with tremendous pleasure that I welcome you to our annual Parents Welcome Reception. I'm Adam Farish, Associate Director of College Relations and Development for the College of Chemistry and your host for this event. Thank you to each and every one for being here with us today. We are very pleased to welcome our incoming parents, guardians, and caregivers to the College of Chemistry family. In today's gathering, you will hear from our undergraduate dean, John Arnold, the Director of Student Services, Mara Daly, and the Senior Assistant Dean of College Relations and Development, Laurent DeJeanry. Also on the agenda is a 15 to 20-minute Q&A session. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or you just want clarification on the topic, please feel free to use the chat feature for this event or email us at coc_relations@berkeley.edu. To get us started, I would like to introduce our undergraduate dean. As a leader of our college, a chemistry professor, and a current parent of a Berkeley student, John is uniquely qualified to guide our undergraduate program during these unprecedented times. Thank you very much for your time and attention. And without further ado, let us welcome John Arnold.
Thank you, Adam. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the world. My name is John Arnold. I've been a professor in the chemistry department for the last 31 years. So I've been teaching and doing research in inorganic synthesis for that whole time, starting as an assistant professor in 1989. So I know a lot about the department. 3 years ago, I had the honor of becoming the undergraduate dean for the College of Chemistry, responsible for helping to look after close to 1,000 of our undergraduate students in the college. Adam, if we could have the first slide. Thanks. And these, as you know, are very unusual times. We face a lot of challenges, especially over the last 6 months. Even at the best of times, in a university like the University of California, we face a lot of challenges, especially now. We've had to face a number of even more difficult challenges. The great thing that you should really know about the University of California, Berkeley, and about the College of Chemistry in particular, is to paraphrase Stephen Covey, we are not a product of our circumstances. We are a product of our decisions. And what you will find in the College of Chemistry is that those decisions are made, and they're made well by really good people. And circumstances have certainly changed over the last 6 months, but what's happened in that 6 months, to me, has been incredibly impressive about how the university and the college has responded. So please rest assured from your perspective as parents and caregivers that your students will be well looked after and things are going to be okay. We will go on. I'm British. Keep calm and carry on is something I grew up with. That doesn't mean keep calm, carry on and just not do anything. It means make decisions. And in that respect, we have recently made quite a few decisions connected with issues related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, as you'll see on the next slide. There has been turmoil in the US over the last few months. Our response to that is listed on this slide here, a number of important decisions. Professor Anne Barringer was just appointed our new Associate Dean for DE&I. And she'll be working with a team of faculty on a working group. I am a part of that working group representing the undergraduates in the college. We are reaching out to groups all over campus to help us with this initiative. And I won't read through all of these bullet points here, but please rest assured that we take these issues very seriously. And this is a hallmark, I think, of what you'll see in the College of Chemistry, that decisions are made and that they are good decisions and they're made in a timely fashion. Let me speak a little bit more broadly about the College of Chemistry. And this encompasses faculty, staff, and students. And I'll focus in a little while on the undergraduate part of this, but let's start with the history of the College of Chemistry, because as members now of the College of Chemistry, your students join a college that has an amazing history and an amazing influence over chemistry and chemical engineering across the world. So on the next slide, we summarize that history very briefly. It's one of the oldest departments in the United States, not in the world, but in the United States. And we're pretty much unique in that we have our own college. It comprises just two departments, chemistry and chemical and biomolecular engineering. So it's unique from that perspective. And it's a relatively small college at the University of California, Berkeley. Some colleges have many, many, many more students than we do. So we have our own administration and we're very nimble. And because of that, we can pay a lot of attention to our students. My son, William, is in engineering, which is a very, very good college, and they have an awesome student services program there. But the college is 4 or 5 times bigger than ours. So we are a lot more friendly and I think unique in the College of Chemistry. And where has all this history got us? Well, on the next slide, we're very proud of our rankings here. It's important to recognize these rankings only seem to exist for graduate programs where, for one reason or another, it's easier to come up with these rankings. But this is also a reflection of how good the departments are and how good, therefore, the college is. And undergraduates play a huge role in this. So even though these are graduate rankings, and we're very proud of them, Berkeley being near the top or at the top of all of these, amongst a group of very, very, very good universities, I have to say, this means something. And this means something for students coming into the College of Chemistry, that they have access to these graduate students and the faculty, and that they're being taught by them and mentored by them, and that's important. So what do we do? Let's look at the next slide. Chemistry and chemical and biomolecular engineering at Berkeley covers pretty much every important discipline in these sciences and in engineering. So we have top people doing amazing work in all these areas. Berkeley is almost unique, I would say, in chemistry departments, in that it's had more of an effect on the periodic table, arguably since anybody than Mendeleev, who came up with our current picture of the periodic table. So discovering elements, some of which are listed here, discovering isotopes of those elements, hundreds of them. No university will ever repeat that. It's physically impossible. So Berkeley has this huge history and huge impact on the chemical sciences. Let's look at some examples of the research that goes on the next slide. We have some amazingly impressive faculty here. I'll show you a few awards in a second, but Berkeley gets these awards and Berkeley gets the best faculty because of the quality and the importance, the significance and the impact of the work that goes on at Berkeley. It affects all of these areas here. Very, very important areas for the US and for the world. On the next slide, that's reflected in awards that faculty win. No other university or no other department has this many. So very proud of the awards, and that's a recognition of the importance of the work that happens from all the way from undergraduates doing research to graduate students, postdocs, and faculty. On the next slide, I just want to highlight 3 amazingly impressive figures. Peidong Yang, Omar Yagi and Jennifer Doudna. Jennifer's work, if you are able to come to Latimer Hall on campus now, which most people can't, I'm able to sneak in there to fix things and work in my lab a little bit. Jennifer Doudna's work, we see literally outside Latimer Hall, where the test that she and her colleagues have developed are actually being used for me. I take the tests, and students and staff right outside Latimer Hall. In total, we have about 84 faculty members. We have close to 1,000 undergraduate students and about, I think, 450 graduate students. And you see that most of the students are associated with chemistry and chemical biology. It's almost sort of a third, a third, a third. Chemistry, chemical biology, and chemical engineering. On the next slide, we see that in addition to those awards that I showed you before, the big one, the Nobel Prize, has been won by a number of our faculty and especially our alumni. And the three people we showed on that last slide, they are at the top of many people's lists for the next Nobel Prize in chemistry. So we have our fingers crossed about that. The most recent one, Frances Arnold, no relation, I'm afraid. I would love to claim a relationship with her and her Nobel Prize. She is the first female member of the College of Chemistry to win the Nobel Prize. She will not be the last. Moving on to our undergraduate students on the next slide. I mentioned we have close to 1,000 students, which might sound like a lot, but by Berkeley standards, it's really not. We have a very good gender balance. We don't have nearly enough diversity, in my opinion, in the college, and we are certainly working on that. We have quite a few first-generation students. I'm proud of that because I am a first-generation student. I'm also a transfer student. I come from the UK, as you might pick up, and I was a transfer student. I left school, or I had to leave school at 16 and work for a living and go to night school, which got me into university. And so I ended up being a transfer student. So transfer students have a special place in my heart. And you'll see when we start talking about undergraduate student services that we're doing a lot for transfer students. So as an admitted student to Berkeley, either as a transfer or as a first year student, you are a member of a pretty select class. We don't admit everybody. And you can see the numbers here. These are very, very high numbers in terms of test scores and GPAs. Say a little bit more about test scores later on, perhaps in the Q&A. On the next slide, so I mentioned that our graduate programs are very, very highly ranked. I can also say, without any statistical, without statistics to back me up in terms of how good our students are, they are exceptionally good based on what they do afterwards and the kinds of extramural things that they do when they're here. So they win a lot of awards, just like our faculty and graduate students. We clean up on the NSF Graduate Awards each year. I don't think any other department wins as many. And that's because our undergraduates are fabulous. They then go on to amazing jobs. Let's look at the next slide. What we've been able to do in the last few years is really, with the college's backing and the dean, my boss, Professor Doug Clark, we've been able to really revamp our services that we provide to our undergraduates. It's a passion of mine. And you see on this list here, this is just a few of the things that we've initiated and expanded in the last few years. And you'll hear in just a couple of minutes from Dr. Maura Daly, who will tell you a lot more about this. On the next slide, we talk about the very thorny issue these days of virtual instruction. And we can certainly talk a lot more about this in the Q&A. I'm sure for many of you, this is a big thing. We started this in the spring, obviously, along with everybody else. What surprised me is how well it worked. Is it perfect? No. Is this the best way to teach people? Absolutely not. Arguably, there is no best way to teach people, but it's probably certainly not this. But these are the circumstances we find ourselves in. We've made decisions about how to do this as a university. We don't do this as a college. We do this as a university all together. And I can tell you, since the spring, we have worked tirelessly over the summer with the Academic Senate and the upper administration in the College of Chemistry to do the best job we can. And we did, I think, a pretty good job in the spring. Again, not perfect. It's never going to be perfect if we're all doing virtual instruction. But it does work, students do learn, and life does go on, and it goes on, I think, pretty well. So we can have more discussion on this in the Q&A, but right now, all instruction is going to be online. Laboratories will be done by video, and students will be writing lab reports based on what they see on those videos. And we hope things get back to normal sooner rather than later, but one way or another, we will deal with this and things will be okay. As a parent, my son William, he's going to be a senior, and all his classes are remote in computer science and electrical engineering. So it's the way it is. Next slide, please. This now gives me the opportunity to introduce a phenomenal person in the College of Chemistry, Dr. Maura Daly. I love Maura. She's absolutely fantastic. She lives in normal times in Gilman Hall, along with our team of undergraduate advisors. And she's going to lead you through the next few slides, talk specifically about developments in undergraduate student services. And I also want to wish her an early happy birthday for Saturday. Happy birthday, Maura. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, John. So, hello, everyone. It is a true pleasure to be here with you. Welcome to the College of Chemistry at UC Berkeley. We are so thrilled to have you and your children, your kids here. Let's see. I manage a small team of advisors. There's myself and the remaining 4 of us. We together do our best to provide academic advising and a whole host of other very important kind of wraparound services for our undergraduates. A little bit about me. I've been advising students in the College of Chemistry since 2002. Clearly, I like the work. I'm passionate about it. I started out as a half-time freshman advisor and worked my way up through the ranks. And in, I think it was 2017, when John became undergraduate dean, I became the director of the undergrad student services team. So John and I have sort of grown into our work together, and I'm very grateful to have him as our boss. Let's see, what do I want to say? So when John took over, as he mentioned, he transformed the undergraduate advising office. Our primary focus at that time was solely on academic advising, and it is still our primary charge. However, John's vision of really providing holistic and comprehensive services for our undergraduate students, including academic advising, but also including other core important services to our students, So, and I'm going to highlight a couple of those services shortly, but altogether, in addition to advising, we provide career counseling. We have a dedicated College of Chemistry career counselor who I will talk about in a second. We have a team of counseling and psychological services personnel who are also dedicated to working with College of Chemistry undergraduates. They also work with our graduate students, staff, and faculty, thankfully. We have a peer advising program. It's a crucial opportunity for students to connect with other students to get this sort of on the ground student perspective on topics which we grown-ups are not necessarily best equipped to address. And then finally, we have a very robust tutoring program, which I will also talk about shortly. A little bit more about the advising that we provide. We adopted a fairly unique advising model, unique for Berkeley anyway. In most undergraduate advising teams, advisors are assigned to a cohort of students in a particular major. We decided that it was important, because we are a small team, for all of us to be able to advise all of our students all of the time. So our students are divided up by the alphabet. So that means that each of our advisors is advising students in all three of our majors, students who started as freshmen, students who start as transfers, so that we can provide the best services as possible. And should an advisor be out for a time, then the rest of us are equipped to care for your kids. Let's see. Let's go to the next slide, please. So the peer tutoring program is one aspect that I really want to highlight. It was founded by one of our undergraduate advisors, Shamaya Pelham, in 2017. And since then, it has just blossomed. We secured, I should be more direct, John secured funding for our a new tutoring center, which unfortunately we can't show you in person, but hopefully at some point in the future, you'll be welcome to come by and take a look at it. It's very cool. Our tutors are going to be available virtually 10 to 5, Monday through Friday. This coming semester, we offer tutoring for both lower division and upper division courses, core required courses, and not just chemistry and chemical engineering courses, but the required courses in math and physics and engineering as well. We have an average of 300 or 350 or more students served each semester, and that number grows every semester as students, more and more students come to realize how valuable the tutoring service is. There's high student use and reuse of the tutoring program. 48% of students return after their first visit. And the tutors, in conjunction with our Chem Scholars program, which is a supplemental academic support program that is led by senior undergrads in the College of Chemistry. The tutors and the Chem Scholars student leaders provide review sessions for many of our important core courses, lower division and upper division chemistry classes, lower division and upper division chemical engineering courses. And let's see, at least 265 total visits were made throughout this semester, last semester, for midterm and final review sessions. Next slide, please. So this is Rachna Vyas. She is our lovely and wonderful career counselor. When we are doing education in person. She holds office hours in the advising center once a week. Mainly she's housed in the Career Center on campus, and she is available for appointments with our students. She works with them on a really wide range of issues, from, sort of beginning with career exploration, graduate school exploration, and then the sort of more nitty-gritty details like building a resume, how to approach recruiters, how to behave at a career fair, and those kinds of things. She's also working diligently to enhance the number of connections that the College of Chemistry has with local businesses for the purposes of creating more internship opportunities and job opportunities. She provides all kinds of networking opportunities for our students, and she's awesome. Our students really love her. And I think that might be it for me. Are we done? Is there another slide? Yes, I'm done. Thank you, everybody, and go Bears.
Thank you, Mara. Really appreciate your insight into the Career Center, the peer tutoring program, and into the undergraduate student services. Next, we have our Senior Assistant Dean of College Relations and Development, Laurent DeJeanry.
Hello, everybody. I'm dialing in here from sunny yet smoky Berkeley. Wish we could be doing this in person. Hopefully we will be able to do this in person at a future time. Normally we would be having coffee and some treats for you all before talking to you about the college. So we look forward to meeting you in person. Adam, why don't we flip to the next slide? As the College Relations and Development Department, we really kind of handle all of the college relations with our various members of our community. So from faculty to students, parents such as you. So you are really among our college's community that we really care for and that we look to engage and connect with and keep informed. So please consider yourself an integral part of our community. And frankly, your students are starting a lifetime relationship with Berkeley and the College of Chemistry. And we think of our 1,500 undergraduate and graduate students in some sense as alumni and residents, because ultimately we have over 15,000 alumni out there, and they are across industry and academia, the very top universities, Harvard, Stanford, MIT, Yale. They're across many of the top companies in biotech, in energy, in chemicals, in consumer products and technologies. And it's really our jobs to keep those alumni informed, engaged, and connected with the college, and bring those alumni back to connect with your students and to provide guidance for them, job opportunities for them, internship opportunities for them. So I work very closely with the undergraduate program office, particularly on our corporate and academic partners, and are bringing back our alumni to campus. And Rachna and I are very close, work very close together in terms of making sure that the undergraduates all have a means to pursue their career choices and connect with alumni and corporate recruiters. And then obviously we touch the greater chemical science and engineering community, which your students will be a part of. Next slide. We have many communications available to you. I hope you're already receiving the periodic news. If you're not, please make sure we have your current email address and maybe check those, those different folders that it could end up in. However, this is a news article that we send out every month, and this has various news, including faculty innovations, awards, but different things about the program to keep you informed about your students' experience. We have an award-winning, frankly, Catalyst magazine. It goes out annually. It covers some of the really important topics of our college. On the left, you can see Frances Arnold, who when she won the Nobel Prize, but we also talk about the anniversary of 150 years of women in science at Berkeley. So really important features in these articles. We send out an impact report to all of our donors. It's an additional published communication about the various impact of our college. We manage our website. So if you go to our website, you'll always see the latest news and information. There you can find all of our contact information, including the Student Services Department. And there's also, if for those that are interested in science or maybe from the science field themselves, we have lots of recorded videos and we're always building up our library of videos. So please enjoy our communications and make sure that you're receiving them so that you stay informed about your students' experience here. Next slide. We also have a number of social media channels. We are on LinkedIn. You're welcome to connect to and follow our LinkedIn School page. We're also on Twitter and very active on Twitter. Many of our faculty are active on Twitter. So a nice way to follow the college is also to connect to us on Twitter. So you can see here our various social media channels. Look for Berkeley Chemistry. And on Twitter, if you look for UCB Chemistry, you should find us. And please look there to connect with us and follow what's going on in the college. Next slide. We have a lot of events that we do every year. Obviously, like education, we've pivoted a lot of things online. You should have all received invitations to our Reunion and Parents Weekend that is coming up this fall. We will have another discussion and Q&A with undergraduate Dean John Arnold. We also have a lecture from one of our newest professors in nuclear chemistry, Polly Arnold. So please look to take advantage of these events. And for your students, we have just launched a new series of online talks and panel discussions. We're calling them our engagement ecosystems. And your students will benefit from them now, but they will continue to benefit from them for their entire life as alumni, to keep them learning, to keep them connected to Berkeley. So it's really a great value add to your students to being part of this new community that they're entering. Next slide. And we, of course, do fundraising for the college. We are currently in a very large capital campaign for a new building. This building will be really new high-tech labs and teaching facilities. We have an amazing donor named Terry Rosen. Terry and Tori Rosen contributed $25 million to this new building. It's the largest alumni commitment we've received to date. And he's actually helped us name the college after his faculty instructor. A real tribute to how important that faculty and student connection is here at the College of Chemistry. And next slide. This is a rendering of what this building will look like. As you can see, a number of floors with labs, a beautiful new staircase, and a new auditorium. We're looking to open this building, we're hoping in 2023. It might be 2024, depending on our timing. So your student might benefit from this building in their junior or senior years that soon. Next slide. And then we also raise money to support a lot of John Arnold's strategic initiatives and resources and services. So we have an undergraduate students and program annual fund. You can find that on our website. If you look at the giving tab at the very top, if you click on that, you can support this fund. As you can see, we actually started this fund just a few years ago when John Arnold really realized that he needed funds to support various initiatives in the undergraduate program to help advance the student experience. And so it helps things like the Undergraduate Student Services Center, the resources, services, and programs they provide. It helps fund Rachna's position as the dedicated career advisor and our dedicated mental health coordinator, Yubi, Dr. Yubi. Our peer tutoring program and center, we raised private philanthropic support to build out that center and to support that program. So whatever level I kind of invite you to hopefully support the college and support your students' experience, it's incredibly important for us to support John Arnold's very ambitious objectives for the undergraduate program and for the undergraduate experience. So we invite you to support the college in this way, but we most definitely invite you to engage and connect with us, to be a part of our community, and to stay informed and engaged with the college. So thank you for joining today. It's a real honor to welcome you to this community, and I look forward to connecting with you all in person, hopefully soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Lo, for detailing the College Relations and Development Department. And that leads us directly into our Q&A session. I would like to thank everyone who has submitted their questions pre-event. We received those and we'll get to as many as we can, as well as everyone that has submitted questions in the chat feature and also in the Q&A feature. Mara, we have a great question for you that I think would be great to start off with concerning advising. What is the process for students to make appointments for office hours with an advisor?
Yeah, so each of us has we all use the platform You Can Book Me, which is an online appointment system. Let's see, most students already have those links to make those appointments, and we've actually been meeting with your students all summer long, both through the Golden Bear Advising platform and then in addition to that as well. If the College of Chemistry website has an advisor directory page where all of our contact information is listed. Our emails, our phone numbers, although we are not there to answer those phones, and the You Can Book Me links are all there. Let's see. So yeah, and at least a couple of the advisors right now are holding open Zoom drop-in hours weekly. I know Jazeel Flores, who is advising a big portion of our students, I think probably about half of them, students last name G through R. She's hosting a drop-in advising period every day. I think it's 11 to 12. And I don't have the link to that information right now, but it is available. Your students can email her to ask her for that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a great answer. John, our next question, I feel like you would be best suited to answer this one, is centered around research for our freshmen and especially our transfer students. Given that much of campus will be closed during the fall, how do you recommend College of Chemistry students best get research during this year?
Thanks, Adam. Great question. It's nearly always the #1 question, even without a pandemic in progress. Students who come to Berkeley are always very interested in research because it's a research university, and we attract students accordingly, and we recognize that students want to do research. I can say a few things in the chat, wherever that is, here, down here somewhere. If you click on the chat button, I just posted a link to our webpage, 2 web pages, the General Undergrad Student Services webpage, but also a page specifically focused on research. And we have several resources that are still going on, even during this time of pandemic. One is that students in their second year or incoming transfer students in chemistry are encouraged, invited to take Chemistry 96. I believe CBE students can take this course as well, I think, but Maura will correct me if I'm wrong. And Chemistry 96 is a course taught by an amazing instructor, Professor Naomi Ginsberg. And the whole focus of this course, it's a 1-unit, effectively a sort of a seminar course, is Introduction to Research. Now, we used to host that course for first years, in the very first semester that students arrived. And what we found, this is before COVID, is it really went over their heads in the first semester because they were so busy getting used to Berkeley, getting acclimatized, getting used to, this very high bar for our incoming classes. So we moved that to the second year, and it's in the second year in general, if you're coming in as a 4-year student, that you get involved in research. Very few students get involved in the first year, and especially not the first semester. So in general, I wouldn't worry about it if you're an incoming student, how to get into research, but the fact that you're thinking about it is a really good thing, and we have a program in place to help you. If you're an incoming transfer student, it's a bit more urgent. You only have usually 4 semesters. So as I mentioned earlier, as a transfer student, I really know what that's like. So we have several programs that we're trying to initiate for the fall, and those students may have already received emails about this. We actually have quite a few graduate students in both departments who want to reach out to you to try and get involved in research and mentoring. Both of those things are important. So check your emails for those messages and respond to them, because that's one way, getting to know a grad student is how you can get involved in research. And the webpage lists some others, and it talks about internships. Now, how those happen this fall with the pandemic still going on in California, that's going to be another challenge that we have to deal with. But it's something we are working on, and one way or another, we will get things done. The last thing I'll mention is that over the summer, we have a summer research program that my office funds about 50 or 60 students to do research over the summer. And sorry for the noise, there's somebody with a leaf blower outside. We continued that program this summer. So we had over 50 students doing research remotely. So the professors and the graduate students responded really well to the dilemma that our undergrads faced. One of my students lives in India, and she's done a fantastic research project over the summer remotely from India. So it's possible, and at Berkeley, we make things work. So yes, things will happen. Long-winded answer, Adam. I hope that's okay.
No, that's perfect. I feel like you were able to answer both questions really well. Lo and Mara, I think this question would probably be best answered by one of you, if not both. And it's concerning career fairs in the fall. How will career fairs be presented to the students in the fall?
Yeah, I could take a stab, and Maura, just jump in if you want. So I know I've actually spoken to Rachna quite a lot about the career fairs, because originally we were planning to host our own college undergraduate career fair. However, the campus has decided to take what normally was a 1-day STEM career fair, and they've broken it up into 5 days, which I think makes a lot of sense. So for example, there's 1 day specifically to biotech and pharma, which I know a lot of our undergraduates are really focused on kind of getting internships and jobs in biotech pharma. So now there's going to be a very specific day for that recruiting. It's all going to be done through, they actually have a recruiting kind of platform that's going to handle these fairs virtually. And through our relationships, we're actually feeding in more companies and more alumni to participate in this career fair. So we're actually kind of co-hosting this career fair with the Career Resource Center this fall. And there's a number of other career fairs that go on through the fall and spring. Some focus more on internships, others focused on kind of that junior, senior year when they're looking at full-time employment. So there's a lot of opportunities through the Career Resource Center, and Rachna is completely dedicated solely to our undergraduate students. So she is that point person for the undergraduate students to contact and to get advice from and to find out what's coming up for them. Maura, do you have anything to add?
I don't.
Great.
Yeah, you covered it.
And another pressing question that we've received a few times, John, is concerning labs, but it looks like you've answered that question in the chat very recently. So if anyone has a question concerning how labs will be offered.
I hope people can see the chat. I'm seeing actually 2 boxes here. I have a Q&A and I have a chat box.
Well,
but
John,
yeah, labs are still happening in Chem 4, Chem 4A. Labs will still happen, except they'll be recorded by the GSIs, made available to students. There'll be discussion. Students will write lab reports. Is this perfect? Far from it. I am an experimentalist. The reason I got into chemistry was I liked being in a lab. I feel for the students. We have worked as hard as we possibly can to try and make labs in person. It's not going to happen for the fall, I don't think. And we can't change that. There's nothing we can do as a college to change that. That's due to state and local UC regulations and Berkeley regulations. I hope down the road, maybe we can catch up, students can catch up with more lab work and more research. And I really, really feel for them, but that's the situation we're in, I'm afraid.
Thanks, John. Lo, we've received a few questions concerning relationship building with all of our learning being virtual, without our students being able to interact on a daily basis on campus. How do you see our ecosystems, our social media platforms, especially our alumni and student groups, playing a factor in our students being able to build relationships during this semester?
Yeah, I mean, I do think as we build out our engagement ecosystems, they're going to have a great opportunity to not only hear from alumni and kind of participate in these conversations and make connections, but the Career Center is also fully pivoting their career fairs online. So they're going to function a lot like a normal career fair would, where there's opportunities for the companies to present their opportunities, for the students to make connections with the recruiters and alumni from those companies. So actually, in some ways, a lot of the career fairs have found that they're actually able to make connections more easily in some of these virtual career fairs versus when really it's, if you think about some of them, they're just a massive number of students and they're crowded around tables and it's really hard to make that connection. And so Rachna's group is really pivoting quite well to continue to serve the needs for our students to line up internships. Summer internships are very important, just as important as summer research projects. So I see the virtual career fairs in some sense as really being a good substitute. And I would encourage your students to connect with us also virtually through LinkedIn and Twitter, because those are the ways for them to stay informed and engaged and make their own connections with our alumni. And we will do everything we can to foster those connections for mentorship, for advising. But it's also upon them to reach out and use our social media to connect with alumni that they might be of interest in connecting with.
No, thank you, Lo. That's great. And to stay in that same area, we received a few questions just about how we make announcements to students and make them aware of certain career fairs and other opportunities available to them, especially along the lines of our undergraduate student services center. So Maura, if you could you just give a little detail on how our students will be made aware of these opportunities?
Sure, yeah. So the Career Center uses a platform called Handshake. And from what I understand, students will be contacted by the Career Center new students will be contacted by the Career Center if they haven't been already, and encouraged to sign up and join Handshake. And this is the primary way that Rachna and the Career Center as a whole will be in touch with our new students. It's a smart platform, so students can tailor their interests on the platform. In other words, they let the platform know what areas, what they're interested in, what fields they're interested in, what stage they are in their internship and job search. It's also how students make appointments with Rachna, and it's the primary vehicle that the Career Center uses to inform students about career fairs and all sort of job-related opportunities. So please check in with your student to see if they have been invited to join Handshake yet. If they haven't, they will be soon, I can guarantee it.
And Adam, if I could jump in, I know John and I have reiterated this, and I think when we've invited alumni to speak to our students, and actually as part of your students' orientation, we recorded an alumni panel for them. And that should be really interesting to them to hear how undergraduates, recent graduates, so young alumni who are now at graduate school and also in industry, kind of their advice on how to navigate Berkeley in terms of, the different career options and what classes to take and how to go about making connections. But one of the things that I would say, as parents of students coming into Berkeley, the most important thing to iterate to them is to not be silent, because the staff here are incredibly dedicated to helping the students out and providing them the resources and services and everything they need. But really, they need to ask for help or guidance or advice or connections. We don't have the resources to just instantly provide that handed on a plate to everybody. So it's important for the students to really ask for help and guidance and resources and services when they need it. And I imagine John would echo that. I imagine Maura would echo that. I imagine Rachna would echo that. Just tell your students to have a voice, because there are lots of other students here, faculty, staff, that are waiting and want to help. But oftentimes we just don't know who wants that help and when and what help they want.
You beat me to it, though. I nearly always say this at every presentation. People at Berkeley, I've found, are very willing to help, but they are not mind readers. And so if there's a problem, don't assume that we know about the problem. If we do, we bend over backwards to try and help. On that subject, students coming to us with ideas, not necessarily problems, but ideas, have resulted in huge changes in the College of Chemistry. So if your kid has a great idea, come and talk to me, come and talk to Lo, and interact with us. That's a big part of what we do. We're a small enough college that I meet with a lot of students all the time. So don't be shy is probably my biggest bit of advice to students. Don't be shy.
Thank you, John and Lo. As we near the 1 hour mark, I'd like to thank everyone for their just interaction throughout this entire event, for the questions submitted pre-event to the chat feature on Zoom and YouTube as well. We will continue to monitor and answer these questions through email. John has graciously provided his email in the chat feature, as well as the COC_relations email that was shared a little bit earlier on. So if you have any questions, concerns that we were not able to get to today, please feel free to reach out to email us. We'll do our best to get back to you in a timely manner. We will also share an email within the next 48 hours with the slides from today's event and also a video recap of this event. So if you saw something earlier that you would like to just watch again, please feel free to watch our YouTube link. And thank you again for everyone for attending this event today. We really appreciate it. And welcome to the College of Chemistry.
Welcome all. Thank you for
Thanks,
connecting.
everybody. Thanks for attending. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. Thanks for coming.